What is your career dilemma? That's the question we address each week right here on That Career Dilemma program. Hi, I'm Paul Madsen, your host of the show, and I'm very excited because this is episode number 44. 44 episodes, Nate.
44.
Not bad, eh?
You should celebrate it. 50.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. A year's coming away.
Cake.
Every week we've done it.
Or a keg. Both.
Oh, I like that.
Cake.
I like that. I like that. This is Nate Watson. I'm going to introduce him soon, shortly, or something like that. But right now I wanted to let you know who this program is for. Nate, this program is for you if you are interested in promoting yourself, if you're considering launching a small business, if you have launched a small business and you need to promote it better and learn tricks from people who have done it as far how to expand your footprint. So in short, it's helping you to sell you. Now, how do I do that, Nate? Not with my knowledge, but through my stellar guests. And that brings us right into Nate Watson, president of Contemporary Analysis. Nate, welcome to the program.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for having us at your lovely offices here in downtown Omaha. Right in the heart of the heartbeat where it's all happening, right? Well, excellent. Well, Nate, as I mentioned, is the president of Contemporary Analysis, and I'm going to let him tell us more about what he does. Before that, Nate, tell us a little bit about your background. Where'd you grow up? How'd you come here? Or are you a lifelong native, or what?
I'm actually an import.
Import?
Yeah,
import,
like a
okay.
fine winer. Champagne.
Was there a tariff on you or anything?
Tariff? Yeah. Tariff on the import of Nate's.
Yes.
No, I'm from southern Missouri. I'm a farm kid from nowhere land.
Small town, huh?
Small town, very poor part of the country. Went to school at Northwest Missouri State. Spent 5 years there. I did on the 5-year plan. Two degrees in 5 years.
Oh, there you go.
I have an environmental geology degree and a GIS degree, Geographical Information Systems degree. And came out of college in 2001. Okay. Went to work, lived in Kansas City at the time. Went to work for...
That's a rough year to come out of college with 9/11 or all that?
Rough year to come out of college.
Wow.
And I got married in 2002, so the first couple years post-college were great.
Lots of transitions.
Worked for an engineering firm out of Kansas City, did environmental work, really looking at and studying groundwater contamination, where it would be.
What was your major again?
Environmental geology and geographic
got
information.
A job in your field then,
I did.
Right? Okay.
Looking at where contamination would be in 1 month, 1 week, 1 year, or 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and figuring out using GIS what the cost would be, what the environmental impact would be.
Is that a private company, big company?
Burns & McDonnell's a big company.
Big company,
giant company.
So you had lots of wide open,
Lots
from small town Missouri to your eyes wide open and a big multinational.
Got pulled into a geologic startup called Aquaterra. That was my first real foray into startup land and entrepreneurship. I was the first geologist for them. Wow. Small company. In fact, they just sold 4 or 5 years ago to SCS for ungodly amount of money.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
Gotcha.
I don't have any more stock in that. But I was on the road all the time. I didn't care for being on the road all the time. I was married, didn't have any kids, but we wanted some, and so ended up in insurance, agribusiness insurance.
This was an interesting transition for me. You know, to go from the geology is somewhat of a geeky, techie world, right? And then to go from that into selling insurance.
Pure sales, yeah.
Now, what got into your head that you wanted to do that other than to get off the road?
You know, I was in management of people at the time, and it just made sense to go from management of people to helping people get what they need. I was endlessly fascinated by people. One of the things that really I loved about Nationwide was sitting down and listening to what they did for a living.
Yeah.
Being from small town, I vividly remember this poster in math class, and it was the 50 things that you could do anywhere at any time. The 50 major groups
regarding
of things,
math,
and how they use math. So it was everything from truck drivers and engineers all the way to doctors and lawyers.
Right.
There was 50, right?
There was only 50 jobs.
There was only 50 jobs. It is pre-internet, so maybe there was only 50 jobs. But the interesting thing was I got to college and realized the world was much bigger than that. There were 300 majors.
Wow.
So there was at least 300 things to do.
Yes, yes.
And then I got to the real world, and I realized that the real world is much larger than 50 or 300. There were thousands of jobs, and I was endlessly fascinated by what you did for a living, and realized most people have a job that they weren't exposed to until much later in life.
True.
In fact, we get a lot of individuals that hear that we do data science, and we'll get to this in a second, but we do data science, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics, business intelligence, those types of things. But it's math. It's math and statistics, programming.
Right.
And they don't even realize that you can use that for doing something other than just teaching math.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole world, and we'll get into, like you say, data, right? Nowadays, the whole world does run on data.
The whole world runs on data.
You discovered, after being out in the workforce a while, a passion for people and interviewing people. And I mean, some people say insurance, well, that's hardcore sales, but you took it a different way. You look at it as you learning about people and yourself serving and helping people.
Yeah, and that's what really led me to this job, right? Where I was working in insurance, different company, and I had the original owner of this company.
And how long did you do the insurance?
All in about 5 years.
And you came to Omaha to open an insurance?
To open an insurance agency, right as the economy went.
Bad timing.
Bad timing, yeah.
08, 09 or whatever it was?
Yeah, right in 09.
Yeah, okay, bad timing.
But I met the owner of this company. He was selling something I never heard of called predictive analytics. And he needed a sales guy who was interested in helping companies become better at using data to make data-driven decisions. And I said, ooh, I like that. That's what I love to do. That's how I like to sell. And it turns out I'm a B2B sales guy. I like that better than B2C.
Yeah, well, let's explain the B2B, B2C. Of course, B2C is business to consumer. That would be your insurance agents, where you're helping them with life and health and disability,
auto, stocks, bonds, the whole thing.
All that kind of financial planning. I'm a customer. Nate sells me the policies and things like coverages I need. That's business to consumer. And I have found in business to consumer, it's a harder sale sometimes because your target market's moving. You don't get there's not a list of this person needs insurance.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to business, well, first of all, you can find a business in what used to be the Yellow Pages, and you can kind of figure out
what?
The what? Yeah, the one.
No one knows what that is anymore.
The book I'm sitting on, like Zuckerberg, right? Anyway, so you can find it, and then you can assume by the kind of company they are. This is early data analytics. That what they might need, and so anyway, Nate took his skills. His technical skills, and got into using them in a different kind of way by you were doing analysis with your customers in insurance.
Sure. Oh yeah.
I mean, you talk to them, find their needs, find their things, and give them what they needed that way. Then he started in Omaha, kind of a rough year to open an agency, and you ran into this owner, and let's tell the rest of the story.
Yeah. So Contemporary Analysis started in 2008. They started out of a garage. Grant Stanley, Ted Wood. Started building this thing. It wasn't even known as data science yet. It was econometrics, which thank God they changed that. It's hard to say, hard to spell.
Yes.
The term big data, the term data science, predictive analytics, those all came out about 2010, and they were kind of at a point where they just needed some outbound sales, and they hired me.
You had the sales background.
You had
the geek background.
I have the geek background.
So you had
and
both.
We scaled the company to, at one point we were 20, 23, 24.
Okay.
And then
well, tell the viewers what data analytics is in a nutshell. We could go for hours, but we're going to go for minutes here instead. Data analytics, data science, what the company does.
Sure. So predictive analytics, Contemporary Analysis does predictive and prescriptive analytics for companies, and essentially we take companies' data. Everybody has data, point of sale systems, CRMs. You can even buy data. They have data on their customers, on internal operations, on a number of things, and we help them analyze that data for trends and patterns and significant variables that drive decisions. And we help them make decisions off of that by presenting the data either in a visualization or a scored model that allows them then to concentrate their efforts on what's most likely to happen next.
Well, and that's what I was just going to ask you. What is a product I get when I buy data analytics from Contemporary Analysis? I'm XYZ company and I'm buying data about this, and what is my positive outcome?
Sure. So the solutions range from everything
Solutions,
from
that's the word, yeah.
customer churn, so which customers are about ready to leave a bank or
Okay.
Any kind of product company, a cable company,
Mm-hmm.
a whatever, a company that has customers that churn out. We can predict those. We can predict what they're going to buy next and when they're going to buy. So cross sell, upsell, resell.
Wow.
We can do things like predicting how likely you are to win a bid. What the price
love
of,
that. Yeah,
what the price of diesel is going to be in 6 months.
Yeah.
What the price of cattle are going to be by the time they reach butcher weight.
And he does all this by his team studying data.
Yeah.
And looking at all sorts of different sources and putting together the solution for your customer. And it seems like, as you talk about it, every company needs that, even if they're a 1 or 2 person company.
Yeah, in fact, I truly believe that 5 to 7 years from now, what you're going to see is the majority of companies, if they want to stay relevant in the global market, they're going to have some sort of data science and data-driven decision making in them. The smallest of small to the biggest of big. And we see some of that in Omaha. Omaha's done okay. The big dogs are doing it. The top 5, really the top 10 Fortune 1000s, they all have data science teams.
Okay.
And so we really built contemporary analysis to
tell us the arms and legs of
process.
your company. You have 5 or 6 different product lines.
Yeah.
Let's hit those real quick.
So contemporary analysis was built as a consulting company for companies to understand and to get that initial push of data science. Data science is more than just hiring an individual. It is a philosophy. And so to implement that philosophy, we bring a whole team. It's called Data Science as a Service. And we are your data science team for a predetermined amount of time. And at a certain point, you start reaching these milestones. We start training an individual, usually on the staff of that company, to run everything we just built, and then we step back into a staff augmentation role.
So you'll place a data scientist at XYZ company, usually a larger corporation, to do his or her magic, and they don't even have to be on staff of that team. They may be a contractor,
Correct,
placed through you. So staff augmentation, placement of individuals to do projects and things like that within the data science. What's a tenure of a typical person at a Union Pacific or a Regional?
The problem right now is data science is such a highly sought after field that they keep getting picked off. So probably 3 to 5 years.
Oh, that's long.
Yeah.
No, I didn't realize it was that long. I come out of the IT staffing world, and we were thrilled to have a 1-year contract, so I didn't realize.
Oh, 1-year contracts, but
Yeah.
every year they get more expensive until
Sure.
Fortune 500.
What else does the company do?
So we decided, or we found that in the consulting business, one of the problems with Omaha was we just didn't have enough data scientists. I have data scientists, but I don't want companies picking off mine.
Right.
They do.
Yeah.
But what we needed was just more data scientists in the community. So we decided to start a data science academy. It's called the Omaha Data Science Academy, the ODSA, and it runs 2 6-month modules that every year train individuals who are in the companies. You have to have a college degree to take it, so it does not replace. We're not competing with the Bellevues, the UNOs, and the Creightons. Instead, it is a skill-based learning, almost like a code school or a trade school, that a DBA or a programmer can come back and learn the skill sets that really didn't exist when we all went through college to be a data scientist.
Are there data science college majors now?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's an emerging new thing then.
Yeah. In fact, I joke that 5, 6 years ago we were at a conference, and it dawned on me that every single data scientist on the planet had a degree in something else.
Yeah.
Because there was no degree in
Well, that sounds like people who are watching the program. Viewers, if you're in career transition, maybe is data science something for you? If you want to learn more about it, the Data Science Academy. How long does the classes what's the length of the program?
It is 6 4-week classes, 6
4-week
4-week modules
Okay.
that together equal a certificate. Now the certificate's not recognized by any college or university. It's just a blessing from the
But businesses do.
from the only data science consultants in town,
Yeah.
and the businesses do, right?
Businesses
So
do. They
respect
love it,
the fact that our data science teams, or rather consultants, So it's not just my team, but it's other individuals from the community are teaching these individuals real data science. So they're doing data science, the consultants are doing data science from 8 to 5, and then from 6 to 9 p.m., they're teaching them what they just did.
Interesting.
So it's not theory, like a college class. It is real live data science exposure.
And right now we're in the room where this happens.
Yeah.
You can't see all the desks in the tech center and all
room.
that, but this is a training lab, so I know it exists. And how long has this been running?
Since 2016.
Really? So you've got a couple of years.
So we're getting ready to start our 5th cohort. We're in the middle of our 4th.
Awesome. Awesome. Before we move on, who's a likely person to come to Data Science Academy?
So there are a lot of people,
college grads.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in business right now that are being asked to do essentially data science, and they're not equipped for it at all. It's kind of above their head.
Yeah.
They are doing big data. They're doing business intelligence, but business intelligence is reporting. It is what happened.
Okay. Yeah.
To ask them to do what's going to happen is a completely different skill set.
I have placed people with business intelligence, and I didn't really realize the difference. What has happened versus what's going to happen.
Right.
And I love that crystal ball thing. And
Yes.
if I'm a big business owner, I want to know, why are my customers leaving? When are they going to leave? And you know those answers if they engage you, right?
As long as they have the data, yes.
Yeah, well, if you have the data. What other things does your company have?
Sure. So that's 2 of 5. We do. So we have the consulting company. We have the training side. We are about ready to roll out, or rather, we just rolled out data science for not-for-profits in a division called Tempo. So contemporary analysis, DSA, and Tempo. Tempo is using the Data Science Academy grads to get them some training and some portfolio work, and to use their internships. We're eating the cost of that, giving it to the not-for-profits of Omaha so that they can be better, right? We need a strong community, so we need stronger not-for-profits, and all they're paying for is a management individual to make sure that they're getting not intern level, but contemporary analysis level data science done for them.
That's fantastic.
Pennies on the dollar.
Talk about really giving back to the community. That's I mean, yes, there's a little bit of selfishness there. I mean, it's fantastic networking, right?
Yeah.
You're going to make many more friends. But this company, your company's not that old, and yet it's giving back to the community, serving these people. The nonprofits, they need this as much as anybody, don't they?
Yeah.
They probably more so.
It's fascinating because not-for-profits tend just not to have the technical expertise.
Right.
And we're now at a spot in the world where you've got to be better. You've got to use your data to make better decisions, or there's going to be another not-for-profit that does the exact same thing, who starts taking your grants because they use them better.
Yeah, well, there you go.
They use machine learning and predictive analytics and AI and all kinds of the fun words that we all talk about.
If these nonprofits put that kind of thing on their grant proposals, well,
they're
more likely they're going to win that grant money. Hey, before we go to break, what other arms and legs does your company have?
So the last 2 are Combine, and this is the one that's coming out probably later this year. We're going to start an ag tech incubator. So anything that is agra-based, that is technical in nature, so a product that uses ag data to make ag better, we're going to help be the technical side of that.
Right.
And what better place to start an ag tech incubator than Omaha, Nebraska?
Yeah, you talked about some of the biggest companies in agriculture
we're 15 miles from a cornfield right now. So and then lastly, we're about ready to start a holding company where a lot of the things that we build for companies that have never been built, we will partner with that company and spin out a whole another company. So we'll have a holding company that owns 10, 12,
kind of like a
companies.
Combinator,
like a Y Combinator or a Techstars or something.
Yeah, what's the word for it? Incubator.
An incubator.
I couldn't think
in
of
fact, that's not far from what we're talking about.
You have a little bit of a stake in them and help them get launched as well. So this is the place you got to be if you are considering launching your own enterprise, a gig economy thing. What better tools can you have than to partner up or be close to something that will give you contemporary analysis of data? Because guess what? In your business, and startups are especially important. I mean, who's your crowd? Who's your audience? And that's what we focus on here. I talk about navigating your niches and perfecting your pitches. Well, that helps a lot if you know the data, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's awesome. Well, better have a little bit break here just for a moment and thank one of our sponsors, and that would be onqmarketing.com. Give Jeff Quant a call or a note over there at OnQ Marketing. Jeff helps people get found on Google. Well, that's pretty important, isn't it?
That's very important.
Well, that's about all there is to it anymore,
right.
it seems like. Also, add for myself, this is the wrong version, month, but anyway, give you an idea. The Metropolitan Community College, I am, in fact, next Saturday, the 24th, I am hosting a course, Niche Pitch Rich, over there. I do several courses for their continuing education program all year round, so check out the Metro catalog. There'll be a link to that at the end of this program, and we have great fun over there. For instance, recently a woman came, she was near retirement, worked for 30 years for a major employer, says, what am I going to do? And I need a little bit of income. I'm okay pretty much, but I need a little bit, and I just have this deep passion for film. And what we did over the next couple hours was work with her on getting a USP, unique selling proposition, how she should pitch herself, what niche she should pursue, how she could do it, and she left just walking on cloud nine, like I say, and that's just so fun because it's not just me, it's the whole group process that I facilitate in these seminars that we get people to basically pull out their hidden skills.
I really love this community for that. I think Omaha does a great job of really being supportive of individuals who have a great idea, who need help. The list of mentors that are available in Omaha are bottomless, and it's one of those things that I think we have in spades that a lot of cities really struggle with. We have a lot of Fortune 500s here. Over the years, we've had 6.
Yeah.
We have another $10 billion companies, both private and public.
Yeah.
And the number of companies that have exited and made hundreds of millions of dollars, numbers in the 20s, which means, what do you want to build? Do you want to build a company to sell? You want to build a company to last forever?
Yeah. We've got both.
We have both types of people.
Well, and that's it. About the heartland, the community, the Midwest, all those kind of things. Believe the data. He knows it. Nate knows the data. So that's you're right. And then there's just no limit. We could do 2 shows on the services and resources. In fact, I've interviewed several people. The Nebraska Fund, Venture Fund, SCORE on this program. Lots of resources. Do you know Pauline over there?
I do.
Sure you do. Everybody knows Pauline. Hi, Pauline. Anyway, so take advantage of these resources, which is a good transition for us to get into all those crazy great things that your company offers and is getting into me as a viewer. How do I've worked for a company for 30 years or companies for 30 years, and all of a sudden I'm downsized, outsized, fired, laid off, burned out, tired, bored, whatever. Now I'm thinking about launching my own company. We didn't go deep into your story, but you were a sales guy that met a techie guy, and I mean, what advice do you have for the aspiring entrepreneur, that first-time person getting out into the gig economy? Maybe they're doing a lifestyle business. Maybe they're doing maybe they want to have a whole bunch of employees. Where should they start, Nate?
Yeah,
you've been there, man.
It's interesting. I didn't want to run a company. I had no desire to run a company when I first came here and became a salesperson. It was only after I'd been
Well, you
here.
started. That's interesting. You didn't start buying the company. You started inside, on the ground, knocking on doors.
Yep. And that's really my piece of advice to individuals. Go and work for a small company. I think you'll find it refreshing. You can learn a lot by working for someone, and then at some point you can start a company. It was only after I'd been here for 5 years that Grant and Tad decided that they wanted to transition the company a different direction. We woke up with 2 companies one day. And we had a piece of technology and a consulting company. He won the technology, and I said, I want to buy the consulting company. And I went and got a couple of partners, and we bought the consulting company in 2016. So, and I've been running it. Look, I started in sales, and then I've head of sales, and head of division, then a head of operations, and so I was doing the day-to-day stuff.
You learned on the job about operating a company.
I'd learned how to build a company by working at it, and then decided that I could take over this company or start my own company or whatever. But I guess my piece of advice really is go and do this. See if this is what's for you.
Well, and that's it. Some people jump into and say, "Oh, I really have a passion for X, Y." The stupid example on a very lower level is, I really love to read and study and learn, and so I'm going to open a bookstore. You may have a passion for content, but guess what?
Running a business is a little different than doing the business.
Yeah.
And the cool part is you can go get an MBA, right? We have a number of MBAs in town that are fantastic.
Right. Or
you can go get your real world MBA by working for a small company, which when you work for a small company, you get access to everything. You wear all the hats,
That's
you
the
see
benefit,
everything. And you get to ask all the questions, and you get to learn what it's like to run a small business and figure out, is this for you, long before you take the risk and the jump off of doing it.
Well, there's we learn to wear so many hats in a small company, and that's what's beautiful. Is you go work for a big company. We can see out the windows here, and some of the big ones. You're talking to them, and I mean, maybe me as a customer, I realize I got this problem, and they say, well, then, that's XYZ's department.
Yeah.
And then you're handed off, and bureaucracy takes over.
Right.
In a small company of 10 or 20 people,
or two,
you're going to do it like you were. You're going to do everything, right?
Yeah. There's the other piece of advice I think I want to throw out there is so besides the mentor piece, which we kind of already talked about, go and get a mentor. There are a number of, in fact, there's a really nice entrepreneurship academy in town called the Startup Collaborative. It's owned by the Chamber. It is specifically designed to teach you the steps you need for validation, for how to do HR, how to hire, how to sell, how to market, how to do all the things.
Right.
There's 17 or 18 modules. They do a great job of, once you figured out that you want to run a company, you can go and get the knowledge there. And then I think my third piece of advice is, and they'll tell you this too, and any mentor will tell you this too, if you are a non-technical person, go get a technical person. If you are a technical person, go get a non-technical person, because there are two parts to the job. There is sales, and then there is product. And let me tell you, I've seen companies fail because of a lack of the other.
But Nate, I don't need a technical person. I'm a pretty good salesperson. I know my business. I know my niche. What do I need a technical person for?
You still got to have a product.
Well, I mean,
you got to sell something.
Okay. Well, how can tech help me do that?
I mean, the point is that there are lots of programmers laying around. There are people who are passionate about starting companies who don't have the other skill set. In fact, there are a lot of companies that what they're looking for are salespeople.
That's a good point. I mean, that's a question anymore. Is can a startup, not a non-techie startup, get started these days without a good data infrastructure, or without technology, without a Facebook ad,
so start a bakery tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And you talk to the people who have been really successful at bakeries. There's the baker, and then there's the business runner.
Right.
When I say technical person, I mean the person who actually does the widget.
Yeah.
Making, baking.
Right.
Creating.
Yeah.
And it can be, you have to have a painter and a business runner that runs the painting company.
Right.
In my case, you have to have data scientists and me who sells the data scientists.
Yeah, and sales. Sure.
You really should have both.
Okay.
And one person could be both for a brief period of time, but very quickly you will see that you were one or the other, and you should go get the other one.
That's great. Any last parting of advice for entrepreneurs? Last lick of information about how people can contact you and so on. First the advice, then how do they reach you?
The last piece of advice is just to do it. So many people have great ideas. They wish they would have done something. They want to do something. Start making the phone calls. Start making the meetings. Start doing it. And you'll wake up one day and you'll either have a company, or you'll find one day, I really just like the idea of 8 to 5 and going home.
You're going to learn it real fast.
You're going to learn it real fast.
That's right. Fantastic advice. And Nate, how do people reach you?
Sure. So if you have a great idea and you just want to sit down and talk to me for coffee, or you're interested in contemporary analysis and want to explore data science and all of its grandioseness, contemporary analysis is canworksmart.com. CANWORKSMART, canworksmart.com. The Data Science Academy is canlearnsmart.com. See what I did there?
And we'll put these on
Right.
on the graphics at the end.
And then Nate@canworksmart.com is my email. Please send me an email if you have any questions or comments.
Beautiful.
Or anything.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to try to summarize all this. It's a lot to do because it's profound. Nate started his life as a techie, fell into sales, which is kind of an unusual story, and his passion, I think, of technology and sales got together when he stumbled into this organization. Most important, I think, in this interview is the fact that Nate talks about going to work for a small business. He did not start as the owner of this company. He started on the pavement, on the road, and got out there and got dirty and learned all sorts of things. He was promoted quickly, did operations, did sales, and knew what he was doing when the opportunity came by to actually purchase the company. So that, get your lessons learned on the street before you jump into
someone
things.
pay you to do their lessons.
Exactly. Yeah, you get paid learn on their dime.
Yeah, learn on their dime.
Learn on their dime. And number 2, mentoring. There's lots of organizations in Omaha, Nebraska, which will allow you to get those mentors, Startup Collaborative score, and you can contact me or Nate and learn many, many more. So that's why go alone. I had a whole episode, in fact, with in the past that talked about why launch alone. Number 3, I love this especially. So many people, if you're a sales guy or a gal, get a technology person. If you're a technology person, get a salesperson, because I think most enterprises, as Nate has shown, need both. And so, just you really need both. And lastly, let's steal it from Nike. Just do it.
Just do it.
There's no failure as long as you haven't quit. Right?
Right.
You keep on knocking on those doors, keep on learning. Every rejection teaches you something. Learn from it.
Failure's not a bad thing either. Failure teaches you.
Yeah, well,
really
you only fail if you quit. If you get knocked down and get up and try again,
right back up.
You do the Rocky thing, right? Well, Nate, it's been my pleasure to talk to you today. Thanks for having me at your great classroom and offices here. I hope people take advantage of the many things that you have to offer, and I hope you've learned some excellent lessons as you consider launching your venture. And I'm Paul Madsen with Nate Watson.
I'm Nate Watson.
And here we are to say goodbye and see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
See you soon.